What if I told you that the person who seems the most ordinary, the friend you trust, or the colleague you respect, could possess a mindset so dangerous that it bends reality to their will, without you even noticing? Today, I will reveal the dark truth about the most perilous mindset in existence, and why recognizing it could save your fortune, your influence, and even your life. In every age, the world has been shaped not by the benevolent, but by the cunning, the quiet, calculated minds that operate beneath the surface, unseen, yet feared by all who glimpse their shadows. Today, we uncover the mind that thrives in darkness, the one that sees life as a game of strategy, manipulation, and power. When one speaks of danger, the mind often imagines swords, armies, or treachery, revealed in sudden acts of violence. Yet, the truest peril does not announce itself with a shout or a clash of metal. It moves quietly, invisibly, like a shadow that shifts behind your back while you remain oblivious. The most dangerous mindset, the one that has toppled princes and empires alike, is the mind that calculates without mercy, that weighs each action not by morality or sentiment, but by its consequences, by the advantage it can seize, and by the power it can accrue. This is the mind of ruthless calculation, the mind that Machiavelli himself would recognize as supreme in the game of human affairs. To understand such a mind, one must first discard the illusions of kindness or fairness that society so desperately clings to. The dangerous mind does not concern itself with justice, reputation, or honor beyond their utility, for it knows that morality is a cloak easily worn and just as easily discarded when it hinders one's ambition. It operates like a master chess player, seeing the world as a board of infinite complexity where every individual is a piece, some pawns, some knights, some queens, but all expendable when the strategy demands. This mindset measures every relationship, every interaction, every glance and gesture, not by what is sentimental or virtuous, but by what is useful. Imagine a court filled with sycophants, advisors, and ambitious men, each vying for the favor of a prince. The man with the dangerous mindset observes all, outwardly compliant yet inwardly calculating, taking note of weakness and strength alike. Where others see friendship, he sees leverage. Where others see obligation, he sees opportunity. And when the moment arrives, as it inevitably does, he strikes, not with brute force alone, but with precision so cold and deliberate that those who fall to his maneuver cannot comprehend that their fate was sealed long before the first move was made. This type of mind thrives on foresight. It anticipates the reactions of others, considers the ripple effects of every decision, and positions itself always several steps ahead. History offers countless examples of such individuals. Machiavelli himself admired the leaders who understood that foresight and cunning often outweighed valor or moral righteousness. The truly dangerous mind does not rely on luck, chance, or emotion. It is methodical, relentless, and above all, calculating. Every smile, every gift, every compliment is measured for its potential return. Every alliance is examined not for loyalty, but for utility. Every conversation is a negotiation, even when the other party is unaware. But what makes this mindset so terrifying is not merely its intelligence, but its detachment. Unlike the ambitious man swayed by ego or pride, the calculating mind feels no moral hesitation in sacrificing what is necessary. Where a lesser mind would hesitate, troubled by conscience, this mind acts with the clarity of one who understands that hesitation is a luxury the world never affords. In this lies its genius and its danger, the ability to separate desire from action, sentiment from strategy, human connection from cold calculation. Consider how this mind operates in daily life, hidden in plain sight. The dangerous individual in an office setting, a political environment, or even within family dynamics is often unnoticed precisely because he does not behave in overtly threatening ways. He is polite, measured, and controlled, often charming, and capable of masking his intentions beneath a veneer of normalcy. Yet behind that calm exterior is a relentless assessment. Who can be persuaded? Who can be exploited? Who can be discarded? Every word spoken, every gesture made, is evaluated for its long-term effect on his position, influence, and power. In essence, the dangerous mindset understands that the world rewards foresight, not sentiment. It knows that opportunity is fleeting and that the slightest miscalculation can result in disaster, but more importantly, it knows that most people are governed by emotion, habit, or morality, and thus it can anticipate their errors while remaining immune to them. While others are bound by conscience or social expectation, the calculating mind moves freely, exploiting weaknesses and shaping outcomes with precision. To encounter such a mind is to confront a force both subtle and unstoppable. The danger does not lie in the physical presence, but in the intellectual dominance it exerts. The calculating individual forces others to act on his terms without them realizing it. Decisions are influenced, alliances are shifted, and conflicts are engineered, all under the guise of ordinary interaction. One does not fight this mind with brute strength or moral indignation. To do so is to play into its design. The only defense is awareness, understanding, and the recognition that the world is not always governed by fairness, but by calculation and the relentless pursuit of advantage. The power of ruthless calculation is therefore not simply the ability to plan or strategize, but the capacity to see beyond the veneer of everyday life, to discern patterns invisible to the untrained eye, and to manipulate circumstances to one's benefit without hesitation. It is a cold, precise, and often lonely intelligence, for it requires the suppression of ordinary human impulses in favor of strategic thinking. Those who master this mindset gain influence and control, often while others remain unaware, operating under the illusion that they are free agents when in fact they are pieces in a larger design. The most dangerous minds rarely announce themselves with brutality. Instead, they cloak their intentions in a facade so persuasive, so enticing, that few suspect the underlying current of manipulation and cunning. Charm, when wielded as a weapon, becomes far deadlier than the sharpest blade. The person who understands the power of appearances can bend the world to their will, not through force, but through the subtle art of deception, persuasion, and manipulation. Machiavelli long observed that appearances often matter more than reality, that the image one projects can command obedience, admiration, or fear long before any action is taken. The dangerous mind knows this, and it exploits it mercilessly. Charm is not mere politeness or friendliness. It is a calculated performance designed to lower defenses and earn trust. The dangerous individual understands that humans are predisposed to trust those who seem agreeable, to follow those who inspire confidence, and to admire those who display controlled confidence. By presenting themselves as likable, competent, and trustworthy, they mask the true purpose of their actions. The observer sees a friend, a mentor, or an ally, but behind the facade lies a strategist who measures every word, every smile, and every gesture for its potential effect. This is the art of deception elevated to mastery, and it is subtle, pervasive, and often invisible until it is too late. One must understand that deception is not only about hiding one's intentions, it is about shaping reality itself. The dangerous mind does not simply conceal, it constructs. It crafts narratives, manipulates perceptions, and orchestrates events so that the outcome appears natural, inevitable, or even the result of someone else's decision. Every action is designed to influence others' judgments, creating an environment where the dangerous individual seems indispensable, wise, and irreplaceable. The observer, engrossed in the apparent simplicity of the interaction, fails to recognize the intricate web being woven around them, the subtle pressure applied at every junction, guiding thoughts and decisions without detection. Consider the power of flattery. The dangerous mind understands that people respond to admiration, that ego can cloud judgment, and that a well-placed compliment can disarm suspicion. But this flattery is not aimless, it is strategic. It is aimed at influencing perception, at making the target feel seen, valued, and understood, all while the dangerous individual advances their own position. Relationships are measured not by affection or loyalty, but by the leverage they provide. The truly dangerous person cultivates alliances with the same precision with which a general arranges troops, positioning individuals where they are most useful, where they can be persuaded, manipulated, or even sacrificed if necessary. Deception extends beyond personal interactions to the realm of influence over groups, organizations, and even nations. The mind that understands appearances can project authority, competence, and moral uprightness, all while pursuing self-interest with ruthless determination. Machiavelli recognized that rulers who appeared just, generous, and wise could consolidate power far more effectively than those who relied solely on force. The dangerous mind, whether in politics, business, or personal life, employs the same principle. By controlling the image they project, by managing perception with meticulous care, they can achieve compliance, admiration, or fear without ever resorting to overt coercion. Yet charm is not static, it is adaptive. The dangerous mind observes, analyzes, and responds to the weaknesses, desires, and fears of others. Every individual presents a unique opportunity, and the mind skilled in deception tailors its approach accordingly. With one person, it may employ warmth and encouragement; with another, subtle intimidation or strategic ambiguity. The goal is always the same: to align perception with intent, to bend reality so that others act in ways that advance the dangerous individual's objectives without recognizing the manipulation. What makes this mindset especially dangerous is that its actions rarely trigger immediate suspicion, because the manipulator operates within the norms of human interaction, employing gestures and expressions that appear ordinary. Their influence spreads silently, like water eroding rock over time. Allies are convinced of the manipulator's loyalty, enemies of their harmlessness, and the broader world of their benevolence or competence. Meanwhile, the dangerous mind moves forward, accruing power, positioning advantage, and weakening opposition, all while maintaining the illusion of innocence or goodwill. Deception is also reinforced by restraint. The dangerous mind does not flaunt its victories or reveal its strategies. Every triumph, every manipulation is cloaked in discretion, ensuring that others remain unaware of the true extent of its power. By controlling both perception and information, this individual maintains an aura of inevitability and control. People are drawn to them, reliant on their guidance, dependent on their perceived insight, and often oblivious to the subtle threads of manipulation that bind them. The seduction of charm, then, is not a simple tool, it is a weapon, a lens through which the dangerous mind navigates a world of unobservant actors. To encounter this mind is to be caught in a game of mirrors, where appearances deceive, intentions are hidden, and reality is shaped by one who understands the rules far better than those around them. Those who fail to recognize it are ensnared, manipulated, and often exploited before they even grasp that they are involved in a contest of strategy and cunning. Among the dangerous mind's many instruments, fear is often the most potent. While ordinary men may rely on goodwill, charm, or friendship to influence others, the mind that understands true power recognizes that fear is more reliable, more immediate, and more enduring than affection. Machiavelli long ago observed that men are fickle in loyalty, swayed by promises and sentiment that vanish when circumstance shifts. Love, admiration, and loyalty are fragile, contingent upon favorable conditions. Fear, when wielded with intelligence, creates obedience, consolidates authority, and ensures compliance with far greater certainty than any appeal to compassion could achieve. The dangerous mindset does not seek cruelty for its own sake. It understands that terror is not a spectacle, but a tool, a precise instrument applied strategically to produce desired results. The goal is not to inspire hatred or resentment, but to cultivate respect, caution, and compliance. This mind recognizes that people are more likely to serve, obey, or yield when they perceive a cost for disobedience far greater than any potential reward for resistance. Fear, carefully calibrated, ensures that loyalty endures even when sentiment wanes. Consider historical examples where fear was employed with meticulous intelligence. Leaders who imposed strict discipline, enforced rules without favoritism, and acted decisively against transgressions, commanded obedience and maintained order. Their strength was not in brute force alone, but in the understanding that fear must be tempered with reason. The dangerous mind mirrors this principle in daily life, in business, politics, and personal interaction. By creating a perception of inevitable consequence, it discourages dissent, anticipates betrayal, and shapes behavior without the need for constant oversight. The dangerous mind also understands the psychology of fear. Fear is most effective when it is real enough to motivate action, yet subtle enough to avoid rebellion. It is not raw terror that dominates, it is calculated apprehension. The knowledge that consequences are certain, consequences are swift, and consequences are unavoidable if one strays. Unlike kindness, which can be taken for granted or ignored, fear demands attention and compliance. It commands presence, focus, and awareness, ensuring that the manipulator's influence is maintained even at a distance. Yet fear must be applied with balance. Excessive cruelty breeds resentment, plots, and eventual overthrow, while insufficient threat leaves authority hollow and influence ineffective. The dangerous mind masters this equilibrium, knowing when to apply pressure and when to release it, when to make an example, and when to conceal power behind subtle signs. This calculated use of fear is a hallmark of true strategic thinking, a recognition that human nature responds predictably to the perception of risk, limitation, and danger. This mindset also recognizes that compassion, though appealing, is an unreliable instrument of influence. Kindness can be ignored, loyalty can be bought away, and trust can be broken when circumstance shifts. The dangerous mind does not abandon empathy entirely. It may feign it or use it when advantageous, but it places far greater reliance on fear as a stable, predictable tool. Fear ensures that promises are kept, alliances remain intact, and obedience is maintained even when sentiment fails. Machiavelli himself observed that it is far safer for a ruler to be feared than loved, if he cannot be both, because fear can be controlled, measured, and maintained, whereas love is subject to the whims and unpredictability of the human heart. In the application of fear, the dangerous mind often operates subtly, allowing intimidation to grow silently, influencing thought without overt aggression. It understands that perception alone can be enough to secure compliance. A carefully placed warning, a demonstration of competence, or the controlled exercise of authority communicates more than words ever could. Those under its influence adjust their behavior, act with caution, and avoid challenge, not because they have been physically restrained, but because they perceive the potential consequences clearly and understand the cost of defiance. Moreover, fear is a form of control that transcends immediate action. The dangerous mind recognizes that human relationships are not static, that loyalty, obedience, and compliance shift according to circumstance. By instilling a persistent, measured fear, the manipulator ensures influence even when absent, creating a psychological presence that extends beyond the immediate moment. Allies act according to the perceived consequences, enemies hesitate to challenge, and the world bends subtly toward the goals of the individual who understands the calculus of fear. Ultimately, the dangerous mindset views fear as an enduring currency, more valuable than affection or friendship. It allows one to maintain influence over unpredictable human behavior, anticipate challenges before they arise, and secure obedience without the constant need for persuasion or negotiation. Fear, like any instrument of power, is applied with precision, intelligence, and foresight. ensuring that every action taken reinforces control and strengthens position. It is not the mindless application of terror, but the strategic harnessing of human instinct to reinforce authority, shape behavior, and consolidate advantage. The dangerous mind does not merely react to the world, it anticipates it. It does not wait for fortune to favor it, it shapes fortune to its own design. This relentless pursuit of advantage defines the mindset that has toppled empires, manipulated markets, and steered the course of history without ever revealing its hand. Machiavelli understood that power is not given. It is seized, maintained, and expanded by those willing to act decisively where others hesitate, to exploit weakness where others perceive only chaos, and to move swiftly when opportunity presents itself. The dangerous individual sees life not as a sequence of random events, but as a vast landscape of possibilities, each to be measured, analyzed, and acted upon with precision. In the realm of human affairs, advantage is not always obvious. The dangerous mind recognizes the subtle openings that others overlook, a misstep by a rival, a hesitation by an ally, or a shift in circumstance that seems trivial but holds immense potential. While ordinary minds are blinded by morality, routine, or sentiment, the calculating individual evaluates the world through the lens of opportunity. Every encounter, every conversation, every decision is scrutinized for the potential gain it may yield. There is no action too small, no observation too trivial, for in the mind attuned to advantage, even the smallest detail can be exploited to devastating effect. This mindset thrives on preparation. While others are content to react to circumstances as they arise, the dangerous mind anticipates multiple scenarios, calculating outcomes before they manifest. It positions itself in places of leverage, cultivates resources, and builds networks in ways that appear natural to the casual observer, but are, in truth, part of an intricate strategy. Relationships are not mere social bonds, they are conduits of influence, channels of intelligence, and instruments through which advantage can be extracted. The dangerous individual understands that fortune favors the prepared, and preparation is the foundation upon which opportunity is converted into power. The relentless pursuit of advantage is also characterized by decisiveness. The dangerous mind does not dither over choices or hesitate in moments of action. Opportunity is fleeting, and hesitation invites rivals to seize what could have been yours. The mind attuned to advantage recognizes that timing is as critical as strategy. To strike too early is wasteful. To strike too late is fatal. Mastery of timing, coupled with the foresight to anticipate the moves of others, allows the dangerous individual to act with precision, ensuring that each decision maximizes gain while minimizing risk. Moreover, advantage is pursued not only through opportunity, but through the exploitation of weakness. The dangerous mind identifies vulnerabilities in allies, rivals, and institutions alike, and it acts upon them with calculated subtlety. This is not mere malice, it is strategy. Weakness can be used to extract concessions, influence behavior, or eliminate obstacles. Those who fail to recognize their vulnerabilities are blind to the designs of those who understand the calculus of power. The dangerous individual manipulates, positions, and sometimes sacrifices with the understanding that the pursuit of advantage demands not only courage, but ruthlessness. Adaptability is another hallmark of this mindset. Advantage is not static, it shifts with circumstance, and the dangerous mind moves with it. Stubborn adherence to tradition, sentiment, or fixed notions of morality is a liability. The mind that pursues advantage relentlessly evaluates every situation anew, recalibrates its approach, and discards strategies that no longer serve its goals. Flexibility and pragmatism are essential, for the world does not bend to the will of the slow or the sentimental. Those who cling to idealism or habit find themselves overtaken, while those who adapt, maneuver, and act seize the prizes left by the unprepared. In practical terms, this relentless pursuit manifests in a careful balance between patience and action. The dangerous mind can wait, observing and calculating for long periods. only to act decisively when the moment is right. It does not rush for glory or instant gratification. It seeks the optimal path, the precise action that produces maximum benefit with minimal exposure. Every alliance is evaluated for utility, every rival for weakness, every opportunity for timing. In this way, the dangerous mind converts foresight into leverage, potential into power, and circumstance into advantage. What separates this mindset from ordinary ambition is the absence of restraint imposed by convention, sentiment, or morality. The dangerous individual does not allow ethical hesitation to hinder action. It is not enough to act boldly. One must act strategically, guided by intelligence and calculation. Advantage is seized where others hesitate, manipulated where others comply blindly, and expanded where others falter. The world, to the mind attuned to power, is a series of contests, and those who understand the rules, sometimes unspoken, sometimes cruel, consistently position themselves to win. Finally, the pursuit of advantage is relentless, precisely because the dangerous mind understands that power is never secure. Every gain can be challenged, every position threatened, every influence undermined. To rest, to accept complacency, is to invite reversal. Therefore, the individual who masters this mindset is always vigilant, always calculating, always poised to convert circumstance into further advantage, always ready to exploit even the smallest misstep, and always aware that the world bends only to those who anticipate, act, and dominate without hesitation. Now, having explored the contours of the most dangerous mindset, we see a pattern emerge, a mind that calculates without hesitation, seduces without revealing its intent, wields fear with precision, and pursues advantage relentlessly. This is the mind that bends reality to its will, not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, strategy, and an unwavering understanding of human nature. Those who possess it operate beneath the surface, unseen yet omnipresent, shaping outcomes, manipulating allies, and exploiting weaknesses in ways the unobservant cannot comprehend. To encounter such a mind is to confront a force that cannot be reasoned with, swayed by sentiment, or anticipated by ordinary perception. Its power lies in its detachment, its clarity of purpose, and its mastery over human behavior. While others rely on loyalty, friendship, or goodwill, this individual relies on foresight, cunning, and the immutable laws of advantage. Machiavelli understood that the world is not governed by virtue alone, but by those who grasp the truths hidden beneath appearances, and this mindset embodies that principle fully. Yet the lesson is not merely to fear such minds, but to recognize them and learn from them, to understand the mechanisms of ruthless calculation, deceptive charm, fear-driven control, and opportunistic strategy is to gain insight into the workings of influence and power itself. Awareness provides defense, foresight grants leverage, and understanding cultivates mastery. In a world dominated by those willing to act without hesitation, the unprepared are vulnerable, the sentimental are exploited, and the unaware are swept aside. The dark truth, then, is that power respects intelligence, strategy, and unyielding resolve. It does not respect virtue, kindness, or honesty unless they serve purpose. To navigate this world successfully is to recognize the dangerous mind, not merely in others, but potentially within oneself, and to wield its lessons with discernment. Only by understanding its nature can one anticipate its moves, counter its designs, and, if necessary, employ similar methods to survive and thrive. The dangerous mindset is both a threat and a teacher, a shadow looming over human affairs, and yet illuminating the path to influence, control, and enduring advantage.